General Counsel for the media conglomerate NBC Universal. We've been speaking about two bills, SOPA and PIPA, but there are other efforts to try to combat internet piracy. One comes from California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa, who joins us now on the line. Congressman, good morning.
Well, good morning, and thanks for covering this issue that will have a huge impact on Silicon Valley unless we get it right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you have been proffering another idea other than SOPA and other than PIPA that you've called the Online Protection and Enforcement of Digital Trade Act, or the OPEN Act. How is it similar to SOPA and PIPA, and how is it different?
Well, it's similar in that it will, in fact, stop foreign entities from profiting if you will, for a very short period of time before they get shut down. It uses the 1930 Tariff Act. It uses administrative law judges that are already experienced at enforcing IP protection, and it does everything it can do except it doesn't fall within the committee that authored these other two bills, and that's Judiciary. I'm a member of Judiciary, so Lofgren. We stood up in the committee and said, look, this is a great bill written to make sure that only Judiciary gets to hear it, but this isn't a Judiciary issue. This is a commerce issue. And by using the International Trade Commission and its administrative law judges, expanding their authority to follow the money, to shut down the revenue that these pirates receive, we can do a very efficient job of shutting down piracy the way we did with overseas or offshore gaming.
Now, I don't want to blow past that distinction that you're making. The ITC is the same body that, say, Apple uses when they go after HTC because, the Android phone infringes on patents in the iPhone. It's an existing structure that already takes on issues of intellectual property in pretty huge and robust ways.
Exactly. And I think what's significant is it's an existing entity that has one tool, which is injunctive relief. It stops things. It has the right to issue very quick orders. It has the fastest docket. And because it uses administrative law judges and career prosecutors, if you will, within the system, you don't have to have, I heard your last caller, you don't have to have a lot of money. You can bring a case before the ITC and say, look, here's my movie. It's being ripped off. Here's the places that are ripping it off. I want to bring a claim.
Right, but let's be real though. That's a pretty complex process, though, isn't it? I mean, it isn't something like a piracy claim or a patent infringement. That's the province of someone who's got the money and the lawyers to back them up, isn't it?
Well, generally it would be. What happens if you talk to anybody who's had an ITC case related to patent, which is where a lot of their cases are, they will tell you that the ITC is a fraction of the cost of going to district court. It gets you an injunction faster, and you're dealing with judges who are very seldom overturned because they understand patent law, they understand intellectual property. So if you're a movie maker or any other intellectual property holder, and what you want is quick injunctive relief and then follow the money if they try to resurrect themselves, would you rather have a court that is specialized in that already and has been doing it for decades and has a good track record for stopping piracy of tangible items, or would you like to have a funded part of the Department of Justice and hope that they bring cases and recognize that ultimately you're still in the federal courts with judges all over the country who may not specialize in this? Most federal judges come out of prosecuting cases that are criminal. This is clearly something where it's technical, but we want them to be able to do two things. We want them to be able to recognize intellectual property and who it belongs to, and then we want them to be able to follow the money and shut down the funding that your last caller made very clear. It's the funding that she was denied.
Right.
It wasn't that they were giving away her movie. It's that they were selling it below her cost because they had no cost in the movie.
I'm going to go ahead and put a link to your website on our Facebook page. I'm going to do that right now. And I think the interesting thing about this is that you are allowing the public to chime in on the way this bill is being written. Is that right?
Well, absolutely. We were able to leverage technology that makes the open bill the first completely open bill for people to, they can't do it anonymously. They come in, they say, here's who I am, they get authenticated, and then they give us their, if you will, their comments, and they can write it in very legal language, or they can make it much less legal. But on the web can see what they're doing. So if
Right.
Google and the Motion Picture Association each wanted to modify this bill, each would see how the other was trying to improve it, hopefully, because we believe that this is the basis. It's bipartisan. Senator Wyden and myself, along with, of course, Congresswoman Zoloff, it's gaining bipartisan support because it's a scalpel to deal with the problem. It's a big problem, but we only want to cut out the pirates. We don't want to cut out the innovation on the internet.
Well, Congressman Darrell Issa, I appreciate your time. I just posted the link to our page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/KQED Forum. Congressman Darrell Issa, I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anytime.